Do you ever wonder what happened to some of the chain restaurants you used to love? In this video, we're taking a trip down memory lane to explore 20 forgotten chain restaurants that no longer exist. From the beloved Howard Johnson's to the once popular ChiChis, these places were once staples of American dining but have faded away. Stick around, you might just recognize some of these classic spots from your own past. Howard Johnson's.
Howard Johnson's offers a wide variety for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, prepared fresh and served hot.
Howard Johnson's was once a dominant force in American dining, known for its iconic orange roofs and wide-ranging menu. Established in 1925 by Howard Deering Johnson, the chain started as a soda fountain in Quincy, Massachusetts, but quickly expanded into a full-service restaurant. By the 1960s and 70s, Howard Johnson's had become the largest restaurant chain in the U.S., with more than 1,000 locations, often found along major highways and in motor lodges, making it a favorite stop for travelers. What made Howard Johnson's so popular was its family-friendly atmosphere and diverse menu. They were known for their 28 flavors of ice cream, a variety of comfort foods, and signature dishes like fried clams, frankfurters, and grilled hamburgers. The consistency and reliability of the food across locations meant that families could expect a familiar meal no matter where they were on the road. However, as fast food chains like McDonald's and Burger King began to dominate the market in the 1970s and 80s, Howard Johnson started to lose its appeal. The rise of quick-service restaurants offering cheaper, faster meals made the more traditional sit-down dining experience feel outdated. By the early 2000s, the chain had dwindled to just a few locations, and today, only one Howard Johnson's restaurant remains in Lake George, New York, marking the end of an era for this once-beloved chain. ChiChis.
What's in ChiChis' new Sonoran sampler?
ChiChis was a popular Mexican restaurant chain that made its debut in 1975 in Richfield, Minnesota. Co-founded by restaurateur Marno McDermott and former Green Bay Packers player Max McGee, ChiChis quickly became a go-to spot for families and groups looking to enjoy Tex-Mex cuisine in a lively, festive atmosphere. At its peak, the chain had over 200 locations across the United States and was known for its margaritas, chimichangas, and sizzling fajitas. What made ChiChis so popular was its approachable take on Mexican food, which was still relatively new to many American diners in the 70s and 80s. They offered large portions at reasonable prices, and their combination platters, complete with enchiladas, tacos, and beans, became crowd favorites. The restaurant's fun, party-like vibe made it a popular spot for birthdays and celebrations, with sombreros and happy birthday songs a common sight. ChiChis' downfall came swiftly in the early 2000s. In 2003, a hepatitis A outbreak linked to contaminated green onions at a ChiChis location in Pennsylvania led to several deaths and hundreds of illnesses. The negative publicity severely hurt the brand, and combined with declining sales and increased competition from fast casual Mexican chains like Chipotle, ChiChis filed for bankruptcy. The last US locations closed shortly after, but the brand still exists in Europe as a line of grocery products, though the restaurants are long gone from American soil. Sambos.
We're taking you to our favorite place for dinner!
To Sambos!
To Sambos? Sambos.
Sambos was a once thriving chain of pancake houses that was founded in 1957 in Santa Barbara, California by Sam Battistone and Newell Bonnet. The name Sambos was a combination of the founders' names, but it also referenced the controversial children's book, The Story of Little Black Sambo. Despite this, the chain grew rapidly, peaking at over 1,100 locations across the United States by the late 1970s. Sambos was known for its affordable all-day breakfast menu, particularly its pancakes and signature Sambos Tiger Tamer breakfast. Families loved Sambos for its kid-friendly atmosphere, complete with tiger-themed decor and coloring books based on the Little Black Sambo story. The chain became a favorite for breakfast outings, offering classic diner fare at reasonable prices, including pancakes, waffles, eggs, and coffee. The restaurant's controversial name and theme, which drew from racial stereotypes, became a source of growing discomfort in the 1970s as social awareness around race issues increased. Protests and boycotts began, and public opinion started to turn against the brand. In an attempt to distance itself from the controversy, many locations rebranded as The Jolly Tiger, but the damage had already been done. Combined with financial mismanagement, Sambos began closing its doors, and by the early 1980s, the chain had almost entirely disappeared. The original location in Santa Barbara is still open, but under a new name, Chad's, to reflect a more inclusive identity. Steak and ale.
Here's to the great indoors.
Steak and ale!
Steak and Ale was a pioneer in the casual dining industry, founded in 1966 by restaurateur Norman Brinker in Dallas, Texas. The restaurant chain was famous for offering affordable steak dinners in a casual, English tavern-style atmosphere, which made it stand out from more formal steakhouse experiences. Steak and Ale quickly became known for its reasonably priced menu, which included cuts like filet mignon and prime rib, along with a signature salad bar that became a hallmark of the brand. The appeal of Steak and Ale lay in its ability to bring a touch of elegance to the average diner, offering steakhouse quality meals at prices accessible to middle-class families. The chain's dim lighting, wood-paneled interiors, and waitstaff dressed in period costumes created a cozy, old-world atmosphere that attracted customers for special occasions, date nights, and family dinners. The salad bar was a big draw, allowing customers to customize their meals in a way that was still relatively new at the time. Despite its early success, Steak and Ale struggled to maintain its position in a growing market for casual dining. Competition from other chains like Outback Steakhouse and Longhorn Steakhouse, combined with financial challenges, led to a decline in the brand's popularity. In 2008, the parent company Metromedia Restaurant Group filed for bankruptcy, leading to the closure of all remaining Steak and Ale locations. While the brand has been the subject of occasional revival rumors, it remains a nostalgic memory for those who once enjoyed its steaks and salad bar offerings. Burger Chef.
Burger Chef, you're incredible!
Burger Chef was once a fast food powerhouse, founded in 1954 in Indianapolis, Indiana, by Frank and Donald Thomas. At its peak in the 1970s, Burger Chef had over 1,000 locations across the United States, making it a serious competitor to McDonald's. The chain was known for its flame-broiled burgers, the Big Chef, its answer to the Big Mac, and its innovative Works Bar, a self-service station where customers could customize their burgers with toppings like lettuce, tomato, pickles, and onions. Burger Chef was also a trailblazer in creating combo meals, offering a fun meal that included a burger, fries, and a toy, an idea that McDonald's later capitalized on with its Happy Meal. Its aggressive expansion and family-friendly marketing helped Burger Chef cement its place in the fast food landscape, with many customers remembering its distinctive burgers, fried chicken, and signature milkshakes. Despite its early success, Burger Chef began to struggle in the 1980s due to increased competition and internal mismanagement. The company was eventually sold to General Foods, which began scaling back operations and converting many locations into Hardee's franchises. By the mid-1980s, the last remaining Burger Chef locations had been rebranded or closed, and the once prominent chain disappeared from the fast food scene. Today, it's remembered fondly by those who grew up enjoying its flame-broiled burgers and innovative offerings. Beefsteak Charlie's.
With shrimp at Beefsteak Charlie's tonight.
Beefsteak Charlie's was a popular chain of steakhouses that rose to prominence in the 1970s and 1980s, especially in the New York City area, known for its all-you-can-eat salad bar, unlimited shrimp, and endless beer, wine, and sangria with meals. Beefsteak Charlie's became synonymous with indulgence at an affordable price. The chain was named after a fictional turn-of-the-century New York restaurant owner, and it catered to diners looking for hearty portions in a casual setting. The restaurant was especially popular for its salad bar, which offered a variety of fresh vegetables, pasta salads, and breads, an exciting option at the time. The steakhouse also became known for its family-friendly atmosphere, generous portions, and an affordable way to enjoy steak, shrimp, and seafood. Ads for Beefsteak Charlie's often emphasized the abundance of food and drink, encouraging diners to come hungry and leave full. However, the all-you-can-eat model eventually proved unsustainable. Rising costs, competition from other casual dining chains, and difficulties in maintaining profitability led to the chain's decline. By the late 1980s, Beefsteak Charlie's began closing its locations, and by the early 2000s, the last of its restaurants had shut down. Despite its disappearance, Beefsteak Charlie's remains a nostalgic memory for those who fondly remember its limitless food and drink offerings. Lums.
I am crazy about Lums gourmet burger, green peppers, mushrooms.
Lums was a casual dining chain that became famous for its hot dogs steamed in beer, a unique twist that helped set it apart from other restaurants of its time. Founded in 1956 in Miami Beach, Florida, by Clifford Perlman and his brother Lums, quickly expanded across the U.S., reaching over 400 locations by the 1970s. The chain offered a variety of menu items, including sandwiches, burgers, and fried seafood, but its beer-steamed hot dogs were the standout favorite. Lums had a family-friendly, casual atmosphere, making it a popular spot for lunch, dinner, or a quick bite. In addition to its signature hot dogs, Lums was also known for its roast beef sandwiches and frosty mugs of draft beer. The chain capitalized on the post-war American dining boom, appealing to families who wanted something a bit different yet affordable. The chain's fortunes began to decline in the late 1970s and early 1980s, largely due to increased competition and shifts in consumer preferences. Lums was sold to KFC founder John Y. Brown in 1971, but the brand struggled under new ownership. By the mid-1980s, most Lums locations had closed, and the chain quietly disappeared from the American dining scene. Despite this, Lums remains a fond memory for those who remember its iconic beer-steamed hot dogs and casual vibe. Geno's Hamburgers.
I go for Geno's because I go for good food, and Howard can go for whatever he wants.
What'd you say you're going for?
Geno's Hamburgers was a beloved fast food chain founded in 1957 by NFL Hall of Famer Gino Marchetti, along with Alan Amiche and Louis Fisher. Originally based in Baltimore, Maryland, Geno's quickly grew into a popular East Coast chain known for its hamburgers and fried chicken. Geno's was famous for its Geno Giant, a burger that was their answer to McDonald's Big Mac, featuring a double-decker sandwich with special sauce, lettuce, cheese, and pickles. In addition to its hamburgers, Geno's partnered with KFC, offering Kentucky Fried Chicken at its locations, which made it a one-stop destination for both burgers and fried chicken. This unique combination helped Geno's expand quickly, and by the 1970s, the chain had grown to over 350 locations, especially popular in Pennsylvania, Maryland, and the surrounding states. However, in 1982, Geno's was sold to Marriott Corporation, which rebranded many of the Geno's locations into Roy Rogers restaurants, leading to the eventual disappearance of the brand. Though Geno's restaurants faded from the fast food landscape, many still fondly remember the Geno Giant and the chain's distinctive orange and black signs that once dotted the East Coast. Red Barn.
Even the bun tastes better.
That's Red Barn's special bun.
Red Barn was a fast food chain that stood out for its barn-shaped buildings and family-friendly atmosphere. Founded in 1961 in Springfield, Ohio, Red Barn quickly expanded across the United States, reaching its peak in the 1970s with around 300 locations. The chain was known for its hamburgers, fried chicken, and fish sandwiches, with menu items like the Big Barney and the Barn Buster competing directly with McDonald's and Burger King. One of the key draws of Red Barn was its innovative salad bar, which was a rarity for fast food restaurants at the time. Red Barn also offered larger portion sizes compared to many competitors, making it a hit with families looking for value. The restaurant's distinctive barn-shaped buildings made them easily recognizable and added to their charm, creating a nostalgic image for those who dined there. Despite its popularity, Red Barn began to struggle in the late 1970s due to stiff competition from other fast food giants and changes in ownership. The chain went through several mergers, which eventually led to the closure of many locations. By the early 1980s, most Red Barn restaurants had either shut down or been converted into other fast food outlets. Although the chain is long gone, Red Barn remains a fond memory for those who grew up enjoying its hearty meals and iconic barn-shaped restaurants. AllStar Cafe.
It's the official AllStar Cafe.
Ken Griffey Jr., 301 lifetime average.
AllStar Cafe was a chain of sports-themed restaurants launched in 1995 by Planet Hollywood, backed by big-name athletes like Shaquille O'Neal, Joe Montana, Wayne Gretzky, and Andre Agassi. AllStar Cafe aimed to capitalize on the growing popularity of sports and celebrity culture. The restaurants featured memorabilia from various sports and had a casual, stadium-style menu that included burgers, wings, nachos, and other American fare. The appeal of AllStar Cafe was not just the food, but the overall experience. Each location was designed to immerse diners in a sports fan's paradise, with walls lined with jerseys, autographs, and game-used equipment from famous athletes. Big screen TVs played live games, making it a popular spot for fans to watch events and enjoy a meal in a sports-centric environment. Despite its celebrity backing and initial success, AllStar Cafe struggled to differentiate itself from other sports bars bars and themed restaurants. The high costs of maintaining the lavish decor and prime locations in tourist-heavy areas like Times Square and Disney World led to financial difficulties. By the early 2000s, most AllStar Cafe locations had closed, and the concept was eventually abandoned. Though short-lived, the chain remains a memorable attempt to blend sports culture with dining, and many fans remember it as a fun, though fleeting, part of the 90s restaurant scene. VIP's was a popular chain of diner-style restaurants that originated in Oregon in 1968. The chain quickly spread throughout the Pacific Northwest, offering a family-friendly dining experience similar to that of Denny's or Shoney's. VIP's became known for its casual, affordable meals, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner with a menu that included everything from pancakes and omelets to burgers, steaks, and salads. The restaurants were open 24 hours a day, making them a convenient stop for travelers and locals alike. VIP's was especially popular for its hearty breakfasts and classic American comfort food. Families enjoyed the relaxed atmosphere, and it became a go-to spot for those seeking an affordable meal at any time of day. The chain also attracted a loyal following of late-night diners thanks to its round-the-clock service. However, as competition in the casual dining sector increased, VIP's began to face financial challenges. In the early 1980s, the chain was sold to Denny's, which gradually converted most of the VIP's locations into Denny's restaurants. By the mid-1980s, VIP's had largely disappeared from the dining landscape, though it remains fondly remembered by those who enjoyed its classic diner fare and friendly service during its heyday in the Pacific Northwest. Kenny Rogers Roasters.
You're gonna love this food.
Kenny Rogers Roasters.
Kenny Rogers Roasters was a chain of chicken restaurants founded in 1991 by country music star Kenny Rogers and former KFC CEO John Y. Brown. The restaurant specialized in wood-fired rotisserie chicken, offering a healthier alternative to the fried chicken options that dominated the market at the time. With its signature seasoning and focus on wholesome side dishes like mashed potatoes, coleslaw, and steamed vegetables, Kenny Rogers Roasters quickly gained popularity. What made the chain stand out was its emphasis on health-conscious eating, which was gaining traction in the early 1990s. The chain's rotisserie chicken, paired with hearty yet nutritious sides, appealed to families looking for a more balanced meal option. It also became a pop culture sensation thanks to a famous Seinfeld episode in which the restaurant played a central role, boosting its visibility and appeal. Despite its early success and celebrity backing, Kenny Rogers Roasters began to face stiff competition from other fast casual chicken chains and changing consumer preferences. The chain expanded rapidly, but overexpansion, high costs, and market saturation led to financial struggles. By the early 2000s, most US locations had closed, though the brand still exists in parts of Asia, where it remains popular. For many Americans, Kenny Rogers Roasters is remembered fondly for its tasty rotisserie chicken and its brief moment of cultural fame. Carol's.
Carol's, the best you can get.
Carol's was originally a popular fast food chain that emerged in the 1960s, known for its burgers, fries, and milkshakes. The chain started in Syracuse, New York, and quickly grew into a major competitor on the East Coast, offering affordable, tasty meals with a focus on burgers. One of its most popular items was the Club Burger, a signature sandwich that gained a loyal following. The restaurant's bright orange and teal logo and distinct building design made it a recognizable presence in many cities. At its peak, Carol's had over 150 locations across the US, and it was known for its fun, family-friendly atmosphere. The chain catered to the growing demand for fast food, offering burgers, fries, hot dogs, and milkshakes at a time when quick, inexpensive meals were becoming the norm for busy families. However, by the 1970s, Carol's began transitioning away from its own brand as it acquired Burger King franchises. Many of its locations were converted into Burger Kings, and the Carol's name eventually faded from the US fast food landscape. Today, the company behind Carol's is actually one of the largest Burger King franchise operators in the world. Though the Carol's brand is no longer around in the US, many who grew up with the chain still remember its classic burgers and the role it played in early fast food history. Po folks.
For the best value in town, it all adds up. Po folks.
Po Folks was a popular Southern-themed restaurant chain that launched in 1975 in Anderson, South Carolina. The chain specialized in hearty, home-style Southern cooking, offering dishes like fried chicken, catfish, country fried steak, biscuits, collard greens, and grits. The name Po Folks was inspired by a country song by musician Bill Anderson, reflecting the restaurant's emphasis on simple, down-home comfort food at affordable prices. Po Folks' success came from its charming, rustic atmosphere and Southern hospitality. Diners were treated to large portions of classic Southern dishes served in a casual, welcoming setting, making it a popular spot for families. With a menu that embraced the best of Southern cooking, from fried okra to peach cobbler, the chain became a favorite across the Southeast and beyond. However, by the late 1980s, Po Folks began facing financial difficulties, partly due to overexpansion and increased competition from other casual dining chains. In 1988, the chain filed for bankruptcy and many of its locations were sold or rebranded. A handful of Po Folks restaurants still operate today, but the chain's national presence has largely faded. For those who dined there during its heyday, Po Folks is remembered for its generous portions of Southern comfort food and its cozy, welcoming atmosphere. Wessons. Wessons was a fast food chain that emerged in the late 1950s, based out of Long Island, New York. Wessons was one of the earliest competitors to McDonald's in the fast food burger market, and it quickly became known for its signature 15-cent burgers, fries, and shakes. The chain's mascot, a smiling, orange-haired character named Weddy, along with its iconic W sign, made Wessons a familiar sight across the East Coast. Wessons was famous for its double patty burgers and simple, straightforward menu, offering classic fast food fare at low prices. Much like McDonald's, Wessons appealed to families and young people with its speedy service and budget-friendly meals. At its peak, Wessons had over 70 locations across the New York metropolitan area and other parts of the East Coast. Despite its early success, Wessons couldn't keep up with the rapid expansion of McDonald's, Burger King, and other major fast food chains. The intense competition and operational challenges led to Wessons' decline in the 1970s. By the mid-1970s, many Wessons locations were sold off or closed, and the brand eventually disappeared from the fast food landscape. Today, Wessons is remembered as an early innovator in the fast food industry, giving New Yorkers a taste of the burger craze that was sweeping the nation. Rustler Steakhouse.
I came to Rustler for these meaty ribs.
I came for this grape.
Rustler Steakhouse was a popular chain of budget-friendly steakhouses that began in the late 1960s. Known for offering affordable steak dinners in a casual, Western-themed setting, Rustler quickly became a favorite for families and those seeking a hearty meal without breaking the bank. The menu focused on grilled steaks, baked potatoes, and salad, all served in a laid-back environment that evoked the feeling of an old cowboy saloon. The appeal of Rustler was its simplicity and value. For a relatively low price, diners could enjoy a complete steak dinner with all the fixings, making it a go-to spot for working-class families and couples looking for a casual night out. The chain also offered salad bars and an array of side dishes, which helped to draw in customers who wanted more variety with their meals. Despite its popularity during the 1970s, Rustler faced increasing competition from other steakhouse chains like Sizzler and Ponderosa. By the 1980s, rising operational costs and changes in consumer preferences led to Rustler's decline. The chain was eventually acquired by the Marriott Corporation and rebranded into other concepts, marking the end of Rustler Steakhouse. For many, it remains a nostalgic memory of affordable steak dinners and simple Western-themed dining. Doggy Diner. In Oakland, California. Known for its giant dachshund mascot wearing a chef's hat and bow tie, Doggy Diner became a beloved fixture across the Bay Area. The chain offered classic American fast food, including hot dogs, burgers, fries, and milkshakes. The friendly dog mascot was so recognizable that it became a symbol of the brand, and it could often be seen perched on top of the restaurant's rooftops, drawing in customers with its whimsical appeal. Doggy Diner was especially popular in the 1950s and 1960s, serving as a go-to spot for families, kids, and anyone looking for a quick and affordable meal. The chain prided itself on its hot dogs, which were among the best-selling items, and it catered to the booming car culture, where customers could grab a bite while cruising around town. By the 1970s, however, competition from larger national chains like McDonald's and Burger King began to squeeze Doggy Diner out of the market. Despite its loyal following, the company struggled to keep up with the fast food giants. In 1986, 1996, the last Doggy Diner location closed its doors. Although the restaurants have disappeared, the famous Doggy Diner mascot lives on as a cherished piece of San Francisco's history, with some of the original dachshund signs preserved as local landmarks. Big Boy.
What's it gonna be, my cooking or Elias Brothers Big Boy?
Big Boy!
Oh, thank goodness.
Big Boy was a well-known chain of family restaurants that started in the Pacific Northwest. It operated under the Big Boy franchise, which was famous for its signature double-decker hamburgers, such as the Big Boy Burger, similar to McDonald's Big Mac. VIP's Big Boy locations were beloved for their classic American diner fare, offering everything from burgers and fries to milkshakes and breakfast items like pancakes and omelets. The chain was popular with families due to its welcoming, casual atmosphere and diverse menu. One of its standout features was the Big Boy mascot, a chubby boy in checkered overalls holding a massive burger, which became an iconic symbol of the brand. VIP's Big Boy was also known for its all-you-can-eat salad bar, which added value for diners looking to enjoy a hearty meal. However, as competition in the casual dining sector grew, Big Boy began to lose its market share to newer, more modern chains. In the 1980s and 1990s, many Big Boy locations either closed or were converted into other restaurant concepts, marking the end of an era for this family-friendly chain. While Big Boy restaurants still exist in other parts of the country, Big Boy is a nostalgic memory for those in the Pacific Northwest who dined there during its peak. Henry's Hamburgers. Henry's Hamburgers was a fast food chain that started in 1954 in Chicago, Illinois, and quickly expanded to become a major player in the fast food industry during the 1960s. At its peak, Henry's had over 200 locations across the Midwest, offering affordable burgers, fries, and milkshakes. The chain's slogan, "A million sold every month," reflected its popularity in the early days, when it was seen as a serious competitor to McDonald's and other growing fast food brands. Henry's Hamburgers became known for its 15-cent burgers, which drew in customers looking for a quick, inexpensive meal. Much like McDonald's, Henry's had a simple, no-frills menu focused on burgers, fries, and soft drinks, with a focus on speed and efficiency. Its bright red and yellow signage made it easily recognizable, and it was a common sight in small towns and cities throughout the Midwest. However, by the late 1970s, Henry's began to face stiff competition from larger, more aggressive chains like McDonald's and Burger King. The company struggled to keep up with the rapid expansion of these giants, and many Henry's locations were sold or closed. By the 1980s, most of the chain had disappeared, though a few independent Henry's locations still exist today. Despite its decline, Henry's Hamburgers is remembered as a pioneer of the fast food burger boom and a favorite among Midwestern diners. White Tower. White Tower was a hamburger chain that began in the 1920s, inspired by the success of White Castle, known for its small, square hamburgers and streamlined white buildings that mimicked the look of White Castle. White Tower became a popular choice for affordable fast food during its heyday. The chain quickly expanded to several cities across the Midwest and East Coast, with more than 230 locations at its peak. White Tower's menu was simple, offering burgers, fries, and shakes, catering to customers who wanted quick, inexpensive meals. Its clean Art Deco-inspired design made it a recognizable part of the urban landscape, and it attracted a loyal customer base with its low prices and efficient service. White Tower's small, savory hamburgers, often referred to as sliders, were a favorite for customers looking for a satisfying, no-frills meal. However, White Tower faced legal battles with White Castle over trademark and branding issues, and over time, competition from other fast food giants like McDonald's and Burger King led to its decline. By the 1970s, most White Tower locations had closed, and the chain eventually disappeared from the fast food scene. Though long gone, White Tower is still remembered by those who enjoyed its distinctive architecture and iconic burgers. That wraps up our journey through 20 forgotten chain restaurants that once filled our cities and highways with delicious meals and fond memories. These restaurants may be gone, but they certainly aren't forgotten. Did any of these bring back memories for you? Let us know in the comments below if there's a chain we missed or one you especially remember.